Rohit Bhargava, in your book Non-Obvious, you talk about some of the trends changing business. But how do you know that a trend is going to be lasting and not a short-lived fad?
You know, the biggest thing people mistake about trends is they look for one example and they call it a trend. And for me, I look for multiple examples across multiple industries, and that, I think, makes a trend instead of a fad.
Well, one thing you're watching is Disney's MagicBand technology. How will this change retail sales?
You know, consumer expectation, thanks to Disney's MagicBand, is really high, because now I can get recognized by name at Disney when I go to the park. And so for retailers, it's going to be even more important to personalize the experience, to make people feel like superstars.
Another thing you're seeing is something called branded benevolence, and you're seeing it at Tesla and CVS. Tell me about branded benevolence, because it's a catchy phrase.
Yeah, you know, the idea that companies actually might have good things in mind, and they might forego profits in order to provide those good things. So CVS giving up selling cigarettes, Tesla releasing its patents, Whole Foods with conscious capitalism, and what it all kind of points to is people have bigger expectations of companies than just maximizing profits. And they actually give their loyalty to the companies that believe in something bigger.
Is it good for the shares, though? Should I buy stock in companies that actually care about things like Tesla and CVS?
I think if you're trying to make a quick buck, probably not. But in the long term, I think they're great investments.
Well, another thing that you're watching is small data. Now, I've had a lot of companies come on here and talk about big data, how they can manage big data. Tell me about this trend towards small data.
Yeah, so to me, small data is, you know, you get a Wi-Fi enabled tea kettle, and now it measures how often you make tea. Not data that's inherently useful to any company, but we as individuals can now collect that data for ourselves. And the real question, I think, for companies is who's going to start taking that consumer-owned data and mixing it with their own big data, so mix small data with big data to create real value.
And then one final trend you're watching is making money with selfies. You got to explain that one to me, because it's a little bit wild.
Yeah, I think, you know, for
They're out
people,
there, selfies. Everyone's doing selfies.
Yeah, and I think for you and me, you know, the selfies are the ultimate example of narcissistic behavior, right? But I think when you dig a little bit deeper into selfies and when you look at some of the research, the fascinating thing about it is young people are using selfies to build their self-confidence, to build their own self-image, and to put themselves out in the world the way they want to be seen. So there's clear implications if you think about any brands trying to reach that target audience to say, look, we want to help you express yourself, and here's how we're going to do it.
All right, thanks a lot, Rohit.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching The Street.